Welcome back to the University at Buffalo. Bob Kaczynski joined by Bruce Baumgartner, Kurt Engel. It is the 1998 NWCA All-Star Wrestling Classic. We're starting out at 118. It's Stephen Abbas from Fresno State taking on Teague Moore of Oklahoma State.
Wrestling for Fresno State is Stephen Abbas. This guy upset Moore in the Vegas tournament earlier this year. Very quick on his feet, very good on his feet. He could win it as a freshman. He's only a redshirt freshman, so we're looking for big things to happen this year for him.
Looks like Moore's in trouble here from southern Pennsylvania. Teague was a three-time state champion in high school and was fourth last year in the NCAAs.
So Steve Abbas with a quick 2-0 takedown. It's 2:28 to go here in the first period, just underway.
Moore is struggling to get away right now, and it seems like Abbas really jumped out to a quick start and shocked Teague a little bit.
That's one thing about these Fresno State kids. They come out right away. They look for an opening, and they get the score. Very good on their feet. They're not as polished on top or bottom, but even his older brother, Jerry Abbas, he was a three-time NCAA runner-up and never really had the success at winning the title, and hopefully his brother Steven can do it this year.
Moore looking to get the reversal here.
Stop. Got 1 point red. It's a technical violation. Locking hands. 1 red.
Locking hands.
That was a big point for Moore.
They gave it to Moore, but they gave it to Moore, but they gave the points to Moore, but they penalized red for some reason. I'm not sure what that meant.
1, 2.
Bad mistake by Teague Moore, trying a roll or a Granby roll. It gets caught on his back, giving up 2 back points. That's going to be very costly, coming out and trailing by 3 points against someone like Abbas.
Moore gets the escape. We're going to see right here Moore on the leg. Very nice shot.
Nothing yet. Got a 4-2 count here. 1 minute to go in the first.
The knee is.
Stalemate.
Well, that's flexibility. I don't know.
Tonight's official, Brian Manzi of Connecticut, stopping. He'll start him over. We got 54 seconds to go here in the first period, guys.
Well, that's a lot of scoring for the first 2 minutes of a bout.
Especially these guys, very high ranked, have wrestled each other a numerous amount of times in high school and here at the college level. So I'm sure they respect each other a lot, and they've beaten each other many times. And they come out here and score points like this. That's pretty good.
30 seconds to go here in the opening period. Abbas up by 4-2 count. Moore in on the leg.
Well, Abbas just seems to be doing an excellent job on countering Teague Moore's attacks.
Nothing yet.
The one thing Moore has to do in this situation is he's pausing after he shoots in. He needs to finish right away, especially on a guy like Stephen Abbas, who is very good at defense, and he's finding himself in trouble. Here he finally gets the points, but he had to work a lot harder than he really needed to.
Well, he got the 2 just before the buzzer, so it's all tied up at 4. We've got an exciting first period here at the 118-pound weight class.
Yeah, they didn't stop it. Okay. He's saying this is 10 seconds
first
on
period.
When I call locked hands.
And the discussion here at the table is the official Brian Manzi.
So what we gotta do is
just learning the clock tender that riding time had to have been stopped during the locking of the hands.
1:14.
Gentlemen, we're looking at collegiate wrestling. As I said earlier, many of our viewers may be familiar with the high school style or freestyle, as you've both been very successful in both. What is the biggest difference right here as we take a look at this replay?
Well, obviously, you're giving up points right there. In most cases, in freestyle, whenever you expose your back like that, you're going to give up points. But here in collegiate style, there are no points awarded until you get complete control, and that's what he ended up doing.
So we're starting out the second period. We're all knotted up at 4 here at the 118-pound weight class. Stephen Abbas of Fresno State. He's on top, running out Teague Moore of Oklahoma State.
Keep working, guys.
Teague is right from your neighborhood down there in North Allegheny in Pittsburgh, isn't he?
What?
Kurt?
We take a lot of pride in our wrestlers in Western Pennsylvania. And Teague just happens to be one of the most successful in college right now, along with your boy Jason Robison up at Edinboro. So I'm looking for big things from both of them, especially Robison finishing up his college career. I think he could win it this year.
Teague Moore with the escape. He's now leading at 5-4. So, fellas, he was down early, but he's come back in this.
Yeah. Abbas still has the advantage in the college wrestling. If you're on top of the person, you get what they call advantage time, and Abbas has 1 minute and 35 seconds. If the match ends with one person having more than a minute than the other, the person with the minute advantage time will get an additional point.
Teague Moore placing 4th last year in the NCAAs. You know, this is his 3rd year, a junior. Abbas is still a freshman. He may be a redshirt freshman, but he's still not experienced. It's really amazing to see somebody at this weight class, especially such a tough weight class, stepping forward and having a number 2 ranking right away before the All-Star match. That's amazing.
35 seconds left here in the second period. She said Abbas undefeated coming in.
It'll be very interesting to see in the 3rd period how the wrestlers hold up with the new weight classifications and with the travel coming in here just yesterday. Moore in on another leg shot. Again, having some difficulty finishing the technique. Oh, again, right at the buzzer, 2 points for Moore.
So Teague Moore with a takedown again just before the buzzer. He leads at 7-4, although Abbas does have that 1 minute and 32 second advantage. But Moore will start working on that right now.
I tell you, those takedowns at the end of the period, like Moore had scored, are very difficult to overcome. It really doesn't give Abbas an opportunity to get away like he just did.
1 point escape there for Stephen Abbas.
Like Bruce said, when you get taken down at the end of the period, it's like 2 takedowns, because if you can't escape, you can take 1 point away by having the 1 point escape. So a takedown at the end of the period is very costly for any wrestler on bottom.
But Abbas with 3 points in this period, he's not at the score on the scoreboard, plus he's running up that advantage on the riding time.
So guys, come on.
Moore is going to have to get away here pretty quick to give himself some time to get a takedown to get back in this.
I got a warning, time land, green, time land.
Now we got a warning stalling on Abbas. Another warning, and he'll be awarding a point to Teague Moore.
It definitely looks like the official's not going to let the wrestlers rest at all in these bouts. It's
No.
He's got the leg and he's got the arm, and Manzi won't let him bring it back. Abbas very comfortable with the leg in. He loves riding on that hip.
Yeah, he's got those hands locked in between the legs. It's a very difficult position for Moore to get out of.
I don't think the official's going to let this one go. Abbas is in a bad position to score, and there's no way Teague Moore is going to give it up. So, if anything, nice movement by Abbas, coming over the top instead of backwards. But it backfires on right here.
That reversal is going to put Moore ahead if he can hold on.
Out of bounds with 10 seconds, and the scoreboard has Moore up by 9-7 count. Though Abbas will receive a point for the riding time, but he's still down 1 here then.
Injury time, Ray.
We got injury time here as Moore's off the edge of the mat.
Moore's going to have to hold him for the 10 seconds to win, and if not, it's going to go into the overtime.
I thought Abbas was going to get some back points there. Apparently he was not awarded any.
It certainly looked it. We didn't have a good view from our vantage point, but it could have gone either way, I think.
Let's take another look here at the move here.
Well, Abbas went over top instead of backwards, so the ref wouldn't stop it. It was a beautiful move. He could have gotten back points here, but I think the official was a little bit slow at the count, and Moore was able to come on top, hit the reversal, and get the 2 points. Now he's ahead by 1 point, and Abbas only has 10 seconds to get it back.
Another sweep of the arm would have been 2 points, back points, but the referee just saw
one
more.
45 years.
One more second on that near fall there, it would have been another 2 points, but Moore's shoulders were pretty far off the mat. at first until he settled down. That's when he got the 1 count.
And right there
Ready
is
to go?
one of the biggest differences between freestyle and
1 minute
scholastic.
youth.
That would have been 2 points for sure in the
Let's go.
freestyle realm.
Surprisingly, Moore has been letting Abbas throw the legs in and letting him have the guillotine, the banana split, almost like he wants to set up a reversal from there.
Well, Abbas needs 1 point, and Moore's sitting on the ankle.
Very difficult to get away from in 10 seconds.
He'll just sit on that, and that's going to end it. And Teague Moore is going to win this one by a 9-8 count. So an exciting first match here between the 218-pounders.
Excellent match, high-scoring match. Somewhat unusual for 2 nationally ranked caliber guys to score that many points.
And right now, let's go to Jeff Blatnick as he talks to the winner, Teague Moore.
Okay. Look the other way around. Good. We're going to be over here, though.
Ready, Dave? Welcome back to the University of Buffalo, the NWCA All-Star Wrestling Meet. We're up to the 134-pound weight class. We've got #1 ranked Mark Ironside of Iowa. He is 20-0. He's taking on Jeromy Ensrud from Oregon.
Actually, right now, we're going to go to 126. It's Dwight Hinson from Iowa State versus Eric Jetton from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
They've faced each other.
Let me start that all over. I screwed up. I jumped on my... I'm just going to redo a voice over here, Dave. Welcome back, University of Buffalo, 126. We have Dwight Hinson of Iowa State taking on #3 Eric Jetton of Wisconsin. Guys, this should be a good one.
Oh, this should be an excellent
definitely. Dwight Hinson placing 3rd, 2nd, and 4th in his last 3 NCAA tournaments. This guy is due to win, and I know he wants to do it this year. That way he'll settle for 1 NCAA title, which he wanted 4 in the first place.
Jetton has his hands locked behind Henson's back, which Henson's in somewhat of danger. This is kind of a rematch for the 3rd and 4th match at Nationals last year, and Jetton was victorious.
Dwight Hinson's not a very, very aggressive wrestler. Actually likes to slow the match down. Very explosive, though. He's very elusive, but, you know, like I said before, he wants to win this one this year. He's fallen short 3 years in a row, and he did come off a win last week. Coming off a big win against Eric Guerrero from Oklahoma State, who is ranked #1.
Jetton is somewhat of a controlled wrestler. He likes to get in there and tie the man up. You notice a lot of upper body techniques going for the underhook, and we'll try to score from those positions.
No points yet, 138 to go here in the opening period, 126-pound weight class.
You have to realize these guys have wrestled each other many times. As a matter of fact, they wrestled against each other for the 3rd place match in the NCAA tournaments last year. So the matches are always very tight, and especially with Hinson slowing the match down, I'm not looking to have this match go more than 1 point advantage for either wrestler.
Well, Dwight Hinson was warned for stalling there, and as you said, Kurt, really waiting for a move from Jetton.
You've been warned. Is that yours? Come on, you want to take it out? You want to put it in?
Jetton likes to have that control, tie up, slow the man down, and take his openings when the man makes a mistake, very similar to Hinson.
Hinson lost a contact lens. He's going to go ahead without it.
The great thing about this weight class is these guys all beat each other. There isn't any real dominant wrestler. Even Eric Guerrero loses a couple every year, and he did end up winning the NCAA tournament last year. I think he had 4 or 5 losses. So these guys are very much evenly matched. Anybody can win. Whoever has the best NCAA tournament will be the winner.
40 seconds to go here, first period, no score. And out of bounds. Ooh, a throw right at the edge of the mat.
You can't relax on that edge. That's where you can wind up getting hurt.
A lot of high school wrestlers in attendance here at the University of Buffalo. And
it's an excellent crowd here this evening. Probably the biggest crowd
25,
the last 3 or 4 All-Star Classics that I've been to. This is by far the biggest crowd.
Oh, definitely. And the clinic earlier was great. I think we had about 400 high school wrestlers here watching the clinic that Bruce and I put on. So I'm very impressed with the area wrestling here around Buffalo.
Well, Coach Jim Beekner from the University of Buffalo doing a great job out here, getting the program back up to Division I. And Right now we've got more injury time here.
Blood time, yeah.
Officials time.
It's over here.
Looks like Eric Jetton has something bleeding, and with the new rules, blood does not count against your injury time.
We've talked about this on our state tournament that we do every year at Empire, but the new blood rules, any contact sport in the day of HIV, let's take another look at what may have caused the injury, but you got to be very careful with this, and they'll immediately stop it and attend to it.
It looks like some type of scratch, probably from maybe the shoe of Hinson. Jetton scraped the side of his head, and they will stop it, as you said, almost instantly when they see blood.
You're just working so many things when you wrestle. It could be abrasions from practice earlier this week, and it just reopened a cut. So you never know what it is. And a lot of people think when they see blood, they see head bumps, but it could just be brush burns that just keep opening. So maybe that's what it was earlier this week.
Looks like Hinson has a cut going on his own.
Hold on. You put something on it?
We're going to edit this out. So.
That's what I figured.
Okay, we're back in action here. 12 seconds to go, first period. Still no score. Dwight Hinson, Iowa State, Eric Jetton of Wisconsin.
One thing I can say is it's hard to believe these two are 126-pounders with the amount of muscle on their bodies. It's amazing.
They're a lean, mean 126 pounds.
Red shoes is down.
They've really just been feeling themselves out that first period. And, somebody's going to have to step up and pick the action up here to win the match.
Dwight Hinson chose the down position.
Set.
We'll go a 2-minute period now for the second. College rules, it's 3-minute first period, 2-minute second and third. Hinson gets a 1-point escape.
Beautiful escape. He was on his way out of bounds and was able to turn in to get the escape. That was real smart movement by Hinson. I think Jetton got a little bit relaxed near the edge and thought that maybe he was going out of bounds.
Hinson was up to his feet, just quick, right off the whistle.
Contact. You want to take it out? Just take it out.
And Eric Jetton now loses a contact.
Real quick, let's go.
I always wondered why wrestlers wore contact
My time, blood again.
into a match. If you can't see the guy 3-4 feet in front of you.
To the trainer.
Let's take a look as he loses the contact, and now they're going to wash it off. And another blood timeout as well.
Over here, too. It's all over the place now. Is there any way we could tape that? Because that looks like it's going to bleed the whole match. The butterfly on it?
He heads out of bounds. Hinson was able to circle back in. I'm not quite sure when he lost the contact. It must have been on the initial start of the referee's position when he bumped up. Hinson came up and just kind of skimmed Jetton in the face, and that might have been when it happened.
Dave, we'll edit all this out.
It's going to be one of those longest matches in history right here.
No, that's where he lost the contact.
It actually looks like it was on the feet. It is quite difficult, though, if you're used to wearing the contacts all day and then you get out there, it's a whole different look.
I wonder what it would be like just wearing that.
Okay. Okay, we're back to go. 1:38 here in the second period. Dwight Hinson leads this one by 1-0 count.
You have to remember, Hinson's been warned for stalling, and I think Jetton is probably going to pick up the pace here and maybe even try to win it. It was a nice shot by Jetton. Pushed that arm up right into a double leg takedown. Jetton very aggressive on top right now, trying to take that left leg away from Hinson so he cannot get back up to his feet.
Make sure
1 minute left in the period.
If Hinson wants to have a chance at this match, I think, even though it's close and they're not going to score that much, he does need to get out pretty soon here, so Jetton doesn't have a riding time point, and he might have to end up going in the third period by a 2-point.
Jetton has that cradle locked up. He's in a very awkward position, but the cradle is locked around the back of the leg and the neck.
And the official breaks that. Potentially dangerous. Stalemate on the call as well, and
set, red. Caution red, number 1. Caution red.
And Hinson definitely took off before the whistle on that one. Getting a caution, if he does that 2 more times, it will cost him a point.
Set, go.
35 seconds to go here, second period. Jetton from Wisconsin up by 2-1 count over Dwight Hinson of Iowa State, but Hinson gets away, faces him, but Jetton will not let go of that ankle.
Jetton being very stingy, not wanting to give up any points, doing the right thing right now because this match is too close to give up anything.
What's happening there, guys? Come on, back in.
13 seconds left on the clock. Second period score, 2-1. Jetton now with the 1-minute 12-second advantage riding time.
With Jetton trying to hold him down for that 13 seconds. That 13 seconds seems like an eternity when you're on top of a man and that guy's trying to get away.
Man set. Go, Green.
Nice start by Hinson.
Nice lift. That lift, when you get slammed down to the mat like that, it takes a lot out of you.
Well, that's going to be the end of the second period. Eric Jetton leads this one by 2-1 count. And he'll be down.
Green, down.
Like I said before, it's going to be very interesting to see.
Go, red.
Let's take another look. Hinson almost gets out on this, but as you said, Jetton holds on to that ankle and very stingy.
Drops right down to that ankle.
Back to live action here.
Jetton only has 18 seconds if he wants to keep his 1-minute riding time advantage.
Red.
Well, the first match at 118, a very high-scoring affair. This one, just 2-1 score, 1:54 to go here in the third period.
And you know why it'll be like this in the NCAA tournament too. You know, like I was telling you before, Hinson just beat the #1 ranked Guerrero, and here you have Jetton beating Hinson. You just never know what's going to happen in this weight class, and it's going to be exciting to see who ends up on top at the end of the year.
You got blood again. It's all over. You're letting your lip now. My time again, blood.
Hinson's going to have to make a decision here soon whether to let him go and try to take him down. Riding him out will still give Jetton the win.
I'm not sure if there's any on the mat or not. There may not be. Just look over there a little bit. There may not be any.
We're going to wait, Dave, while they clean up this blood again.
If we get many matches like this, we'll have to get overtime.
Okay, 1:36 here to go in the match. Dwight Hinson down by 2-1 count. As you said, he's going to have to decide what he wants to do here.
He's going to have to turn him to win it. Just riding him out is going to give Jetton the win. He's going to have to make a decision whether to let him up and try to take him down or try to turn him, and it looks like he's opting for the turn.
I'm really surprised Hinson's wasting these seconds. Maybe he's trying to get a possible riding time point, but he doesn't have any chance of that, so I don't really know what he's trying to do here. But if he's trying to turn Jetton, I don't think it's going to happen. I think Hinson, if he wants any chance at winning here, he needs to let him go and try to take him down.
As he takes a look up at the clock, as you said, 35 seconds advantage still on the running clock to Eric Jetton. No way Hinson can turn that around for a point in his favor, so now he lets him go.
I kind of wonder the logic behind why he didn't let him go right away after the last break for blood.
Jetton really controlling the underhook on Hinson, keeping him from being able to hit any of his shots that he likes to hit, the high crotch and the outside single leg. So Jetton's being very effective, and I think he's done his homework to prepare for Hinson.
40 seconds to go. Hinson down by 3-1 count.
Red, 1 green. You're red.
Well, that was
You're
just a stalling
red.
warning on Hinson, giving Jetton another point.
No, you're red. Go, blood.
Hinson hit for the stalling, so now he's down 4-1 and questioning the official as to the scoring, but he's now down by 4-1 count with 33 seconds to go.
That'll make it very difficult for Hinson to win this match.
33 seconds remaining. The score, Jetton 4, Hinson 1.
So 33 seconds to go. Dwight Hinson down by 4-1 count. Eric Jetton from Wisconsin holding on here.
Nice,
another thing Hinson likes to do is he likes to do a shuck by, like a bump by. If a guy's leaning on you, he likes a guy to grab his collar and he bumps him by, but Jetton won't do it. He won't grab his head. He really knows that Hinson likes that move.
Oh, Hinson went for the throw, and Jetton capitalized and come up on top for the 2-point takedown.
And that's going to do it as we count down the final seconds. It's going to be Eric Jetton of Wisconsin, the winner here at the 126-pound weight class. Congratulations. Final score is 6-1. Jeff Blatnick's now going to talk to our winner from Wisconsin. Ready, Dave? Welcome back, University at Buffalo, NWCA All-Star College meet. We've got 134-pounder, number 1 Mark Ironside, defending national champ from Iowa. He's taking on number 2 Jeromy Ensrud from Oregon.
Mark has a 50-0 win streak on the line here, and had beaten Ensrud earlier in the year at the Midlands.
Ensrud surprising the competition last year at the NCAAs, finishing 4th with a 22-8 record, which isn't so bad, but you know, he really surprised a lot of people. He's a very slick wrestler. This is his last shot as a senior. He is a senior, and he has a big job here in front of him tonight.
Ironside didn't waste any time getting in there for the 2 points.
Ironside, when he won his title, he was coaching Gable, who has since, retired from coaching and now is coached by Jimmy Zaleski, the longtime assistant at the University of Iowa.
Ensrud with the escape. It's now 2-1 in favor of Mark Ironside.
Ironside likes being on his feet and likes moving the man. And they say when you get done wrestling 7 minutes with Ironside, you feel about as tired as you ever have in your life. He just constantly is working on your head and your arms, pulling you down as he is right here, and making the man carry his weight and picking on the scores as you saw earlier in the match.
Nice slick move by Ensrud coming onto the side of Ironside, has the leg up, trying to finish. Ironside doing a good job of fighting him off, keeping his balance.
.125 to go here in the first period.
Ensrud really needs to move his opponent if he wants to score. You can't stand in one place with that. You're going to end up giving up the takedown instead of getting it, and that's what happened there. He didn't have enough motion, didn't create motion. Beautiful duck under by Ensrud, coming back in again, trying to surprise Ironside, but it doesn't work. Ironside fights him off.
Ironside's a great intensity, stopping those attacks and take advantage of Ensrud's coming out of position with the score.
Ironside with the takedown. He now leads at 4-1. Ensrud turns back to first, and he'll get one. It's 4-2 now.
as time ticks away, there's less of a chance for Ensrud to win because, like Bruce said, Ironside's a 7-minute man and then some, and Ensrud won't be able to keep up with him in the later time in the match. So now's the time or never.
Ironside in on the leg.
Watch that knee. Watch that knee.
He's getting in on that leg so easy even early in the match.
Stop. That stays.
Referee called that
Actually
potentially dangerous.
Talking to Ironside before the match started, he was telling me he had a very disappointing Midlands tournament. Though he did win, he went in overtime in the semis and beat Ensrud 7-5 in the finals. He wasn't happy with that, so I know he wants to prove tonight that he is a lot better wrestler than Ensrud thinks he is, and I know that's why he's here tonight wrestling, because he really doesn't have to be.
So the end of the first period, it is Mark Ironside leads this one by 4-2 score. Mark from Iowa, Jeromy Ensrud from Oregon.
Is down.
Ironside down. That's a great name for a wrestler, Ironside. Just a tough name.
Has that little mystique to it.
Yep.
You know, in the first period, Ironside didn't even make an attempt to ride Jeromy, and I thought he would have tried to ride him to get him a little bit tired.
What?
Escape by Mark Ironside.
One thing about these Iowa boys, they're not usually peaking at the beginning of the year, but you can guarantee when it comes NCAA tournament time, these guys are ready to go, and they prove that every year.
Again, Ironside pulling Ensrud underneath him, trying to make him carry the weight, getting him tired.
.106 to go here, second period. Ironside up by a 5-2 count. No riding time advantage yet come into play.
Ensrud seems to be very effective from the outside, and here he's kind of playing Ironside's game, getting tied up. Ironside being able to pull him down, work his head. You don't want to get in that position. He's going to lose there, so he really needs to create some distance and hit some of those outside duck unders and low singles that he likes to hit.
35 seconds.
The Ironside snapped him down, spun behind for the 2. Seems like he's a little bit more intent on holding him down this time. It really doesn't seem like Ensrud is making much of an effort to come up to his feet.
Keep it legal.
I think he's tired. It's closing down the second period.
Don't lift it.
You know, Ironside putting the pressure on him, I think he's starting to lose his intensity a little bit.
Ironside coming out front with the bar arm. It doesn't look like you'll have enough time to score.
At the end of the second period, so after 2, it's Mark Ironside 7 and Jeromy Ensrud 2.
Green down.
Fellas, what about, I mean, you both wrestled in this. It's a dual meet setup, but you're waiting all day to wrestle. As we take a look at this last move here by Ironside, and he's so intense. What about preparation for a match like this? It's not an all-day tournament where you've wrestled all day. You kind of pretty much have to focus on this one moment out here in the spotlight.
It's difficult. These athletes are flying in from all over the country. They may have a banquet last night. They come in here, make weight, and wrestle. There's not a whole lot of fan support from your school. Maybe you have a coach, maybe you don't here.
What?
It's a little bit difficult to really get up for it. The only thing that keeps these guys is the pride. Again, Ironside with another snap, go behind, coming out front with the bar.
Ensrud suffering big time with some bad shots in this match, giving up 3 spin behinds. That's going to hurt him. He's going to have to learn from this when he comes to the NCAA tournament, knowing that you can't shoot a bad shot on Ironside because you're going to suffer. And that's, you know, he has 6 of his 9 points are from that.
Ironside dominating now. He's up by 11-4 count, plus he's got the riding time to his advantage.
Still red.
Ironside just really has Ensrud a little flustered here, scoring almost at will.
Well, Ironside's not only won the physical part of this match, he's dominating him mentally now. Ensrud just gassed out.
He's just pushing him over. It's very rare do you see an athlete of this caliber, you know, ranked number 2 in the country, just getting pushed over like Ironside's doing to him.
Well, he may have already mentally decided I'm going to wait till next time because this is not my night.
Yeah, but there's a word called pride that you don't want to. You don't want to lose the respect of your wrestler, and I think he's starting to.
What?
So Ironside again with the snap. He didn't get around behind him, but he did come up with a single leg takedown.
Another takedown. He's up by a 10-point margin.
Boy, this is a big mental edge for Ironside going into the NCAAs. Ensrud's going to remember this for a long time.
This will hard to be overcome with the NCAAs, just the mental advantage. And when Ensrud looks at the tape and sees the manner he lost.
So the defending national champ Mark Ironside from Iowa, he keeps his record perfect. Let's hear from Jeff Blatnick as he talks to our winner tonight. Gotta be closer now.
Now wrestling at 142 pounds, ranked number 2 in the country from Oklahoma State.
Ready, Dave?
His opponent ranked number 3.
Welcome back, University at Buffalo. We're at the 142-pound weight class of the NWCA All-Star Wrestling Meet. It's number 2 Stephen Schmidt of Oklahoma State taking on number 3 ranked Casey Cunningham of Central Michigan.
Stephen Schmidt having an outstanding year last year, placing 2nd at the NCAA tournament. Looking for his first NCAA title this year. It's going to be a tough one, but if anybody can do it, he can. Coming from Oklahoma State, such a great program, and some of these guys that with their work ethic, kind of like Iowa's, and having teammates like Teague Moore and Hardell Moore, you know, he's got a lot of advantage. And if they want to win the NCAA tournament this year, they're going to look for big things from this guy.
Cunningham comes from Central Michigan, which is not one of your traditional wrestling powers, but he does have a number 3 ranking and 19-0 in a year. Schmidt in on the first takedown. Cunningham back up to his feet.
2:07 to go here in the first period. Stephen Schmidt with a 2-0 advantage.
Both of these wrestlers like to scramble quite a bit. I think you'll see a lot of action. Maybe not a lot of high scoring, but there's going to be a lot of motion and a lot of movement in this here match.
Well, by our records in front of us, neither young man has yet to lose.
That's right. I think they're both undefeated, and you know, there's a lot of pride on the line when you're undefeated going against another undefeated wrestler. In the sport as it is today, only one of these wrestlers will leave the match undefeated.
Yeah, I've been in this position before where I've wrestled in here undefeated and ended up losing. I did not like it. It wasn't a very good mental thing for me, so I've been on that side of the spectrum, and I didn't like it.
But these guys are just scrambling around, getting a lot of very unorthodox positions and just constant motion. Excellent escape.
Casey Cunningham with the 1-point escape. It's a 2-1 count now in favor of Stephen Schmidt.
It did take Cunningham 56 seconds to get away, which is quite a long time, really.
There's that little roll throw that seems to be popular in the sport of wrestling today. Getting a lot of kids out of takedowns lately. It's come on pretty strong the last couple of years.
This could wind up as a stalemate here. Both athletes in a position where it's very difficult to advance.
Let's go neutral.
And you called it. It's a stalemate. 34 seconds to go here. First period. Schmidt leads it by a 2-1 score over Casey Cunningham, Central Michigan. Schmidt the senior, Cunningham the junior.
Seems like Schmidt has created all the action in this match so far with 3 or 4 leg attacks compared to Cunningham, 0.
Closing up the final seconds here of the first period. And it doesn't look like we have any more scoring, and it's going to end by a 2-1 count for Stephen Schmidt.
Excellent intensity on both wrestlers.
Hey! Choice, Green.
And we got the flip of the coin.
Green chooses down, second period. Green down.
Casey Cunningham chooses down. Here's the takedown by Schmidt.
Schmidt hitting the double leg, trying to wrap the leg. Eventually he does get the leg in. That's what you want to do, is hook your leg onto his leg to finish that score, and he did.
A lot of work on both wrestlers' part here to get away and to hold the man down. Like I said, a lot of action, a lot of motion.
Schmidt showing a lot of poise on top. Good riding skills in this match, being able to get his 1 point riding time advantage and actually holding him down to try to wear him out a little bit.
1:35 here to go in the second period. Still a 2-1 score. Advantage Stephen Schmidt, senior from Oklahoma State. 18-0 on the year thus far.
It really does take a lot out of a competitor when you're trying to get to the feet to get the escape, as Cunningham just did with a nice escape. It does take a lot of energy to get up to your feet and away.
We're all knotted up at 2.
Schmidt seems to be on the offensive a lot more than Cunningham. I wonder if that is Cunningham's kind of game plan to be defensive.
Not much going on right now.
Crowd trying to get things going here.
When you have two great athletes like this together, it's very difficult to wind up with a very high-scoring match.
Casey Cunningham having an outstanding year. He didn't place the last 2 years at the NCAA tournament, coming into this match undefeated and having a surprising #3 ranking. He must have had some attitude change this year and some mental improvement to be able to come in here with that high of a ranking.
Schmidt with the takedown just seconds before the buzzer, so he'll go into the third period leading this one by a 4-2 count. Plus he's got the minute 34 advantage on riding time right now. And Cunningham will try to eat into that.
It's going to be a very difficult.
This is Schmidt just before the buzzer.
Schmidt in on the leg, and it winds up where Cunningham tries to dive through and gives up the score.
And here's where Cunningham's tough. We're going to find, Schmidt with a nice reversal. Cunningham trying to pull him back with the leg in and ends up backfiring on him. Schmidt getting another 2 points.
Well, Steve Schmidt in pretty good control right now. He's up by 6-2 count, and he's working on that riding time.
Schmidt has Cunningham's leg. Well, Schmidt just let the leg go, but he had it tied up there to really get some riding time advantage.
Let's go, guys, come on.
And official tonight, Brian Manzi.
Again, you expend an awful lot of energy on the bottom trying to get away or keep from your turn.
All right.
Well, when you're down on the bottom and you're down in the score, seems like there's a lot more pressure riding on your back.
Looks like Cunningham here is slowed down a little bit. He's a little bit frustrated, not being able to get out of the bar arm, getting ridden.
I've seen Schmidt do this a time or two last year, and
very close to near fall points here. Just can't control him enough for that second count.
30 seconds to go here in the match. Stephen Schmidt, Oklahoma State. He's up by 6-2 count. He's got over 2 minutes, 48 seconds here in riding time, and unless something happens very drastic here, he's going to win this one. And Casey Cunningham's going to lose his first match of the season for Central Michigan. So we're in the final countdown here. So we're going to have a winner at 142. And it's Stephen Schmidt of Oklahoma State. He runs his record up to 19-0. And at number 2 ranking. And he's going to be a very happy young man as he talks to our own Jeff Blatnick.
Stephen Schmidt. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. Wrestling in the exhibition bout at 142 pounds.
Okay, Dave.
Number 12 in the country from Clarion, Tomeo.
Well,
and his opponent, wrestling for the University at Buffalo.
Welcome back, University at Buffalo. It's the 1998 NWCA All-Star Wrestling Meet. We've got the 142-pound exhibition match tonight. We've got number 9 ranked Tom Tomeo of Clarion taking on local favorite Jeromy McVige of Buffalo. And he should have the crowd behind him, if nothing else tonight, guys.
Oh, yeah, I think McVige definitely would have the crowd, but Tomeo has a little bit better ranking, I think a little bit better record on the season. Tomeo is actually from Pennsylvania, went to the same school as Kurt Angle right here next to him.
You know I'm rooting for, even though I am in Buffalo. I better keep my mouth shut. But McVige coming off a great year this year, coming into the All-Star match. We're talking about a kid that was 4-9 as a freshman. Here he is, 26-10 as a senior. Took 4th in the very respected Vegas tournament, losing to Tomeo for the 3rd place match. So I know that he wants a little bit of revenge here before entering the NCAA tournament.
Tomeo's style is not at all like Kurt's when he was wrestling. Tomeo's a control wrestler. He'll try to keep it very close, very tight. Not overly aggressive. We'll try to control the position. Tomeo in on a nice shot there, working the finish.
Tomeo doing the right thing, trying to move his athlete, smacks him in the face, knocks him down, and scores 2 points. That's what I'm talking about. You have to move your opponent around to score him. You can't stand still, and Tomeo did the right thing.
So Tom Tomeo Clarion, he's up by 2-0 count, 1:51 to go here, first period.
Ouch.
That hurt.
You'll see a little bit different style, I think, with Tomeo. Clarion is traditionally very good on top and not usually the take him down, let him up, as you would see with an Ironside.
Beautiful tilt. Went the other way. McVige wasn't expecting him to go that way. Was able to get this tilt for a 5 count, which equals 3 points. And gives Tomeo a nice commanding 5-0 lead.
Yeah, he could hold him there the rest of the period. That's a pretty tight position right there.
Well, 1:06 to go here. He lets him back with this 3 points, so Tomeo now leads it by a 5-0 count.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Tomeo go right back into that same technique and try to get another 3 points here this period.
Well, McVige does very well in the Greco-Roman style wrestling, finished 2nd in 1997 U.S. Greco-Roman Championships, and he competed for Team USA at the Concord Cup. But wrestling down on the mat, that's not his forte.
Oh, it's a whole different sport. Even the freestyle and Greco are actually 2 entirely different sports. And, where maybe a freestyle will carry over and help your collegiate wrestling, Greco-Roman really doesn't have that same carryover. Jeff Blatnick obviously is one of the few that he was an NCAA champion and also went on to be a Greco-Roman Olympic champion. He's a very rare individual to do that. Good explosion by McVige.
14 seconds to go here in the first period. And he's got that arm trapped as the period ends, and not the way that Jeromy McVige was hoping things would go. The local lad, University of Buffalo is his school, and we're wrestling here at UB. And let's take a look at those back points.
Here it is. He
Green
has
chooses bottom.
what they would call a 2-on-1 tilt here.
This was the not the back points, but just bringing him back down to the mat. And we're ready to start the second period here.
Again, Tomeo on top.
What?
McVige with the 1-point escape brings the crowd to life.
Tomeo's one of those guys that will go into the national tournament with a lot of explosion and intensity and upset a lot of opponents. Guys like that keep the intensity that high and never give up, eventually get what they want, and that's an all-American finish. And a guy like Tom Tomeo can definitely do that.
Tomeo keeps excellent position, always has his hands on the man, keeping McVige from getting a good shot off, getting a good attack.
.115 to go here, second period. Tomeo still up by 5-1 count.
Nice single leg to a double leg finish by Tom Tomeo. Score another 2 points, making the score 7-1. Having a commanding lead in the middle of the second period. This is what he wants.
When an athlete puts his head down on the mat after a takedown, you kind of know his spirit's hurt a little bit.
Well, as I said, he was hoping to do well here in front of the hometown crowd.
I know he'd like to trade his fourth place finish in Vegas, where he only lost to Tomeo 7-4, and I heard it was a very tight match for this match here tonight.
Tomeo working that bar arm. Very difficult to get up off your belly when you have the bar, your arm across your back.
I got a warning, top man, red, riding him. Red.
Oh, warning on Tomeo for just riding him out on top, stalling. 6 seconds to go here in the period. 7-1 though, Tom Tomeo from Clarion. Well in control of this match, over 3 minutes in riding time.
Tomeo does have the point riding time already, even if he gets rid of the 2 minutes.
7-1.
Tomeo with a nice leg snatch, single, changed to a double. Hard finish on the mat, beautiful takedown, picture perfect.
So 2 minutes left in this match. It's an exhibition 142-pound match.
You know, though, these athletes aren't out there thinking it's an exhibition. This is, to them, it's the real thing. It counts on the records. You know, they're definitely out there to win it.
Bend the elbows, bend the elbows.
You were mentioning Jim Buechner being the head coach of Buffalo, doing a tremendous job, bringing in great recruits last year, just making this a first-rate college wrestling university. You can't say enough about him stepping in here and doing what he's done so far.
Well, they've got a fine facility here at the University of Buffalo, and they're making the move to Division I in many of their sports several years ago, and wrestling one to follow. And Buechner himself, a Western New Yorker, and coming back to pick this program back up and put it back on its feet.
It's good to be home.
Coach Buechner is also a Clarion grad. I'm surprised Kurt hasn't mentioned that.
That's why I've been talking so well about him.
54 seconds to go in the match. No scoring. It's still 8-1 now, the score.
You know, when you let a guy up off the bottom, when you have the top position to start the period, you really need to take advantage of it pretty quick.
35.
The momentum goes on the other person's, you know, to the other person's side. And I really don't think McVige, if he was going to let him up, he should have been right on Tomeo right away to try to get that score.
You talk about total domination. 11-1 lead. He's going to have almost 4 minutes in riding time when this match ends. If the match is only 7 minutes long, that is total domination.
Only 7 minutes, which must seem like 7 hours out there right now for Jeromy McVige.
Well, Kurt and I, we used to wrestle 5-minute matches in the Olympics, and 5 minutes can be a long time. 7, when you're down by that score, is an eternity.
So the winner is Tomeo from Clarion at 142, our exhibition bout. And right now he's going to talk it over with Jeff Blatnick.
Ladies and gentlemen, after the 150-pound match, there will be a 15-minute intermission. The concession stand is open, and in the main lobby behind section number 3 with refreshments.
We're back here at the University at Buffalo. Bob Kaczynski, Bruce Baumgartner, and Kurt Engel. It is a 1998 NWCA All-Star Wrestling meet. And right now we're at the 150-pound weight class. Number 2 ranked Eric Siebert of Illinois. He's taking on number 4 ranked Mike Mason of West Virginia.
Eric Siebert, you can't say enough about this kid, placing 5th last year at the NCAA tournament, being ranked 2nd all year long, never losing that ranking, staying ranked 2nd all season. That's consistency. His coach, former Iowa assistant coach, Mark Johnson, great reputation, now the head coach of Illinois, and I know the way he's been going with this program, we're going to see a lot of good come out of this kid.
Mike Mason's from West Virginia, and if West Virginia is not one of your better-known wrestling states, and if you look at his freshman year, he was 4-2. Now as a senior, he's ranked 4th, 27 and 3, and right now in on the attack against the number 2 ranked guy in the country. And, you know, Mike has definitely grown in that West Virginia program and has really come a long way.
Boy, he was close on that one. 1 foot came out of bounds when he finished the takedown. I agree with the official's call. It wasn't a takedown, but boy, I'll tell you, these fans wanted to see two.
Unbelievable athletic ability on both athletes there.
Well, you get to that 150-pound weight class, you really have that athlete who's the tweener between the lightweights and the heavyweights, and many times you get some of your finest athletes right here at this weight class.
Well, these wrestlers are moving like the 118-pound weight class.
Not that heavyweights aren't great athletes, Bruce, don't get me wrong.
Oh, I think you'll see some fine wrestlers tonight at the 190 heavyweight class.
Stalemate.
The official calling a stalemate there, figuring that no action would continue.
151 to go here, no score. First period, 150-pound weight class. Eric Siebert from Illinois, he's ranked number 2. He's taking on Mike Mason of West Virginia, 4th ranked wrestler in these United States.
Stay down, stay in space. That's it. Nice. 3 shots. Hands down. Nice. Shot. Guys down. Put him down.
Right on the edge of the mat, and we'll start him over. 121 to go.
Both wrestlers having great position, not giving up anything. This match was bound to be close anyway, and I could see this match being a one-pointer also.
Mike Mason's coached, assistant coached by Nate Carr, who was a fellow Olympian in 1988, winning the silver medal, or pardon me, the bronze medal.
Come on, that's it.
1 minute to go here in the period, still no score.
Keep pressure on him, good.
As I look over these bios, a lot of these young men competing in the prestigious Las Vegas Open, which sure is a great tournament for fans and coaches.
Got a warning red.
And a warning red here. Las Vegas, not a bad town to visit.
No, we've actually had a lot of our U.S. Open tournaments for freestyle and sometimes Greco-Roman out there, and I'll tell you, it's a great town to have an event like that. These guys are fortunate to be able to have something out there, but as you were talking earlier about Nate Carr, what a tremendous job they're doing this year, placing 6th at the team tournament nationals and upsetting Penn State last week. West Virginia just coming on strong, and this whole EWL Eastern Wrestling League just doing a tremendous job this year.
Just 15 seconds to go here.
Very hard fought first period. A lot of jockeying for position, a lot of hand fighting out there. Really only two good attacks. One right at the beginning by Mason and one a little bit later on by Siebert.
So no score after the first period.
Green, the furs, red. Down.
And this is the closest thing we had to points here.
Yeah, almost had him. You could see Mason's foot came out of bounds, and had his left foot stay in bounds, that would have been a takedown. The West Virginia athletes are usually pretty good on top. It surprises me that Mason let him go so easy, or actually I shouldn't say let him go, because Siebert had an excellent technique to get away. Very good attempt by Mike Mason. This position right here where Siebert has his body on top of Mike Mason's head is very tiring for the athlete underneath.
Not bad movement by these guys, spinning around, hitting shots, and coming up with nothing. They're working hard for not many points tonight.
1:22 to go here, second period. Eric Siebert, Illinois, he's up by a slim 1-0 margin at this point. Nobody wants to be the first one to make a mistake here.
Well, this match may come down to one mistake.
Come on, guys, pick it up.
This could be a classic overtime match right here. Mason doing very well scrambling to get out of bounds.
Neutral.
No takedown. If Siebert would have had both ankles in that situation, he would have had a 2-point takedown.
We're seeing some really good counter wrestling in this match. Just one wrestler taking a shot, the other one re-shooting or hitting some kind of counter move. And that's great offense to have, and you're going to score a lot of points if you can do that.
Mason being very aggressive here in the second period with that underhook. A couple good attempts.
Watch the shot here, watch the shot. Keep your knees bent, he's done. That's it, that's it. Before you're good.
17 seconds.
17, fellas.
Just 1 point has been scored thus far by Siebert, picking up an escape at the beginning of the second period. And that's going to do it at the end of 2 periods. It's still Eric Siebert leading this one by a 1-0 count.
Mason 0.
Let's take a look at the 1 point that was scored.
Excellent escape by Siebert. Mason is very strong on top, and Siebert got right away.
Well, we're all tied up now.
Mason able to score his 1-point escape in the same amount of time Siebert was, so there is 0 seconds riding time for either opponent.
When you can get away in 5 seconds, that's an excellent technique on the bottom, especially when a top man, Siebert, was trying to hold you down.
Let's go, guys, come on.
Siebert for 2, he's got it.
Mason shooting that shot, and like I said before, the counter wrestling coming into effect. Siebert being able to spin around and drop down the legs and score. That's good offense, and sometimes your best offense is a good defense, and Siebert showed it right there.
So Mike Mason, West Virginia, now down both on the mat and by 4-2 count to Eric Siebert. Mason picks up the 1-point escape.
Mason made another mistake right there, took a bad shot, and Siebert came up with his leg. Mason really didn't need to take that shot. He could have waited and set something up a little bit better. I think he rushed that, and it may cost him here, if nothing else, just time on the clock. Mason holding on for that stalemate.
48 seconds to go here in the match, and this one's going to go right down to the wire. Eric Siebert up by a 3-2 count. And Mike Mason is a number 4th ranked wrestler. He could move up in the rankings with a win here tonight. So,
oh, most definitely, and he almost did with bad move there. Great defense by Siebert being able to come off his hip and square off on Mason. But like I said before, I was expecting a one-point match, and it looks like apparently unless Mason can do something here, we're going to end up with a one-pointer.
Siebert in very quickly on that leg. 25 seconds to go.
Mason doesn't have a whole lot of time here. Well, the referee blew a quick stalemate.
Brian Mancey, the referee here, making sure that he gets these kids back at it. 18 seconds to go. Now he's going to start.
Caution green.
Mason jumped the gun just by a hair.
Hey, sometimes that's a smart move. I think Mason, you have one chance to try it and not get penalized, and Mason took his one chance. It almost worked.
7 seconds to go. If Mason's got to move, it's got to go right now. Yeah, you guys are right. A one-point decision. Eric Siebert of Illinois outlasts Mike Mason of West Virginia by a 3-2 count. Congratulations to Mr. Siebert, and let's turn it over now to our man with the interview, Jeff Blatnick. Jeff?
Adidas is the finest growing name in wrestling footwear. Please come to the press table on the main floor to receive your prize.
98 NWCA All-Star Wrestling Classic.
We're back to wrestling action.
And we're back here at the University at Buffalo. Bob Kaczynski with Bruce Baumgartner, Kurt Angle, and Jeff Blatnick. It is the 1998 NWCA All-Star Wrestling meet. We're at the 158-pound weight class. This is a big one. Number 2 ranked Hardell Moore of Oklahoma State takes on number 3 ranked Byron Tucker of Oklahoma. Guys, rivalry.
Big-time rivalry. You talk about two guys that have wrestled each other numerous amounts of time and have beaten each other, but Hardell Moore getting the best of Tucker this year, beating him twice by 1 point. Hardell Moore having a great year this season, having disappointing years in the past, being ranked at the NCAA tournament every year, and last year finally finishing in the top 8 with a 4th place finish.
Byron Tucker's out of Virginia, again not a wrestling powerhouse, but he is at Oklahoma now and doing very well. He ranked 3rd in the country. Lost his last 2 outings against Hardell, lost by 1 point each time. So I think we're going to see a hard-fought match. I believe you're going to see a lot of action here.
2:30 to go here, first period.
Hardell Moore, coached by John Smith, and Byron Tucker is coached by Jack Spates, who coached many years here at Cornell University, right here in New York.
One thing I could say about these two guys, they've met each other so many times the past couple of seasons. It's hard to say who's going to win, and like I said, I guarantee they're pretty close to even as far as beating each other. So, you know, even though Hardell Moore has won twice, maybe it's time for Tucker to get him back. So you never know what's going to happen and who's at an advantage tonight.
Moore gets in on the leg, 1:35 to go.
Byron Tucker in some danger here. He's fighting it very well. Moore trying to move around to get the advantage with that leg. Again, a position we've seen in a lot of other matches here this evening. Tucker is doing an outstanding job of keeping Moore from getting the score.
Yeah, you talk about tremendous balance. Tucker's able to fight this off, but you know, Hardell Moore needs to move him around a little bit more, like I was saying before in the previous matches. And when you get a leg up, you have a big advantage, and you can't let go of that advantage, and you have to keep moving. He suffered right there by letting Tucker get his balance and not moving, and he gave up the takedown.
39 seconds to go here, first period, still no score. Hardell Moore of Oklahoma State taking on Byron Tucker, Oklahoma.
Moore definitely let 2 points get away on that one.
35.
I don't think you'll see a high-scoring match. There is a lot of action out there, a lot of attempts, a lot of hand fighting.
20 seconds.
One thing, these two guys are such tremendous athletes. They'll make mistakes, but they'll be able to regroup and not give up the points. So you're seeing a couple of tremendous athletes out here going at it, and when it comes down to it, it's going to be who makes more mistakes. That'll be the one that loses.
Well, that's the end of the first period. We've got no score.
Score at the end of the first period. All deadlocked at 0.
The Big 12 has the top
Red
3.
Green.
This is about as close as we got to a takedown here, guys.
Here's a near takedown by Moore. He comes in shooting a double A, coming up with the single, but like I said before, just hanging on, not moving his opponent, not being able to score the takedown.
Hardell Moore from Oklahoma State will be on the bottom. Byron Tucker, Oklahoma, on top. Second period just underway.
These wrestlers see each other, probably have competed against each other 3 or 4 times a year the last couple of years, and they're probably quite familiar with each other's style.
Hey, they live right down the road from each other, being in Oklahoma, and also both of them competing in the Big 12. So, you know, that's such a tough league, and them going at it at the dual meet, the All-Star match, the Big 12 tournament, then the NCAA tournament, you just, it's like he sees this guy every 4th match.
Hardell Moore with the 1-point escape, and he leads it by 1-0 count, 1:12 to go here in the second period.
The number 1 ranked athlete at the weight, Timur Turi, is also in the Big 12. That's
okay, open up.
Definite tough conference there.
I guess we're really watching who will be second seeded. The winner of this could possibly come up with a second seed at the Big 12 tournament, but it really doesn't matter because the second and third will meet in the semifinals, and Terry will be on the other side, kind of coasting, not coasting into the finals, but not having to face these two individuals.
What would some of the reasons be for the number 1 ranked wrestler not being here this evening?
Possibly injury. If they've already wrestled their opponent, there's no advantage of wrestling. They're just going to give up the seed at nationals, possibly. Like if Timur Turi had beaten both of these individuals already this year and has a lock on that number 1 seed, there's no real advantage for Timur Turi to compete. I think it probably has a little bit more to do with injury or scheduling. Now, this is, you know, Pride, one of the better matches, and really out there for the pride and the prestige of it.
Here Moore comes up to his feet, has hand control, picture perfect, able to escape. Took him just a few seconds to do that.
As we start the third period, Tucker on the bottom, Moore riding on top. Moore with a slim 1-0 advantage.
Moore erasing Tucker's riding time advantage that he had.
That ties it up.
Nice little throw by Tucker to try to score near the out of bounds, and as both wrestlers go out of bounds.
You know, when you wrestle a person as many times as these two have, you really become hesitant to hit your best shots and take your best holds, because your opponent kind of knows what you're doing, and there's a feeling of, well, he's waiting for me to do that and will try to capitalize. So I think you see a little bit more, you know, we have a lot of action in here, but you're not seeing a lot of scoring because both people know what the other athlete's trying to do.
Get injury time, Green.
And we're going to have injury time.
Okay. Stop it.
Said he's fine.
Go. Come on, open up.
49 seconds to go in the match.
There's Hardell Moore with that long double shot again where he almost scored before. Trying it again, that seems to be his favorite shot, and Tucker knows it's coming.
Tucker likes this underhook position that he's in. Tries to go in for a single leg takedown.
Well, we may have our first overtime match of the night here. Just 26 seconds to go. Tied at 1.
I am not surprised. This was bound to happen, especially at a match like this. You know, we're talking about the best in the nation going at it, and only have one overtime match right now. That's pretty good.
Pump it up.
Just 10 seconds. And we're going to have OT, folks.
We go to overtime.
Okay, Bruce, explain overtime to us very quickly.
Well, right here, it's the first person that scores, and whether that be a stalling point or a takedown, the first person that scores will win the match. There's 2 minutes for them to score, and you'll usually see a pretty hard-fought 2 minutes. You don't want to wait till the toss of the coin to have one wrestler put in the bottom of the top position. It's my opinion that the person that wins the coin toss and takes the bottom position is at an advantage.
1:30 to go here in overtime. First person to score will win this match. Hardell Moore, Oklahoma State, ranked second in the country, taking on Byron Tucker of Oklahoma. He's ranked number 3.
It's a warning, red.
Now we got a warning on Tucker.
Let's go, guys.
Tucker gets warned one more time, and he'll give up the point and the match.
What's happening there, guys? Come on.
That's correct.
Oklahoma, you didn't warn.
It looks like Tucker has taken a little bit more of a back seat here in the
105,
overtime.
guys, 105.
It hasn't been quite as aggressive as in the regulation. A little bit more action by Moore.
57 seconds to go in overtime. Nothing yet, and there's a 2-point takedown for Hardell Moore of Oklahoma State. He wins it in overtime. He's the victor. It's Oklahoma State betters Oklahoma. Let's take a look at that takedown. Kurt.
Hardell Moore.
Hardell Moore, the winner. Let's take a look at those 2 points that won the match.
Tucker going in for the score, and Hardell Moore hitting the quick spin for the takedown. You know, that was a mistake by Tucker, but Moore was able to capitalize.
And Jeff Platnick has the winner. Let's take a listen. Okay, Dave?
Ladies and gentlemen, we come
Catching up.
to the 160.
We're back here at the University at Buffalo. We're at the 167-pound weight class of the NWCA All-Star Meet. And it's Jeff Catrabone of Michigan taking on Brandon Slay of Pennsylvania.
Ranked number 3 in the country from Michigan.
Jeff Catrabone is from Michigan. He is also a resident of Erie, Pennsylvania, actually Harbor Creek, Pennsylvania, just about 90 miles south of Buffalo. I'm sure there's probably a lot of Jeff Catrabone fans in the stands. I know he's a 2-time Pennsylvania State champion. And, his senior year took 3rd last year in the NCAAs, and he's 23-1 this season.
Jeff Catrabone definitely being the more intense wrestler, but Brandon Slay being the more physical and stronger wrestler, taking 2nd place last year at the NCAA tournament, shocking a lot of people. Coached by Roger Rena from University of Penn, where you know, you're talking about a kid that came from Texas, which again is not a really great wrestling power, coming up here to Pennsylvania, which is probably one of the better states in the United States for wrestling, and proving himself. So, you know, Brandon Slane's having a pretty good year this year at 15-4, ranked 4th, trying to overcome his 2nd place finish last year by winning a title this year.
Bruce, can you tell Kurt's from Pennsylvania?
I can tell he's from Pennsylvania, and rightfully so. Pennsylvania, New York, Ohio all have excellent wrestling in the high school levels, and as you're seeing here at Buffalo and in the EWL schools in Pennsylvania, that the sport of wrestling is very healthy here in the eastern part of the United States.
Well, Bruce, you've had an advantage living right on that corner of Ohio, New York, and Pennsylvania, being able to recruit in all 3 places, just saying, hey, it's right on your back door. I knew what you were doing this whole time.
Come on, guys, open up.
Well, at Edinboro University, we have tried to tap the better talent in the New York, Buffalo area, the Cleveland area, and obviously the great state of Pennsylvania.
1:26 to go here, first period, no score. Jeff Catrabone of Michigan and Brandon Slay of Pennsylvania. We're at the 167-pound weight class. And it seems the higher we've gone in weights, the tighter the matches have gotten.
Sometimes it happens that way. You know, when you get in the upper weights, what comes into effect is more power than actually movement. So if you do take a bad shot, you're really going to get hurt on it. And that's why you see a lot more movement in the lighter weights. And kids can make a little bit more mistakes being lighter and being able to come back and not let the mistake hurt in the match. When you get in the upper weights, boy, you make one mistake, it could be fatal.
Here we have a classic style difference. Brandon Slay is shorter, stockier, uses power and strength, lower center of gravity to his advantage, where Catrabone is a little bit taller, I think somewhat quicker, but you know, he has to get by the defenses of the shorter, stockier wrestler, and it's a very difficult thing to do. And I think you're seeing here with the no score in the first period that neither wrestler feels confident to really get a good attack off. I don't think there's been a good offensive hold yet.
Well, no score at the end of the first period. And now we'll have the flip of the coin by tonight's official, Brian Manzi, who hails from Connecticut.
Red shoes is down, second period.
And we've got a big crowd here at the University at Buffalo. First time that the NWCA has been held in the state of New York. And University at Buffalo proud to have it.
Green.
As I said earlier, this is an excellent crowd. I've been to 4 or 5 of the All-Star Classics, and this may be the best crowd I've seen.
1 point escape by Brandon Slay.
Slay got right off the bottom, and Catrabone's known for being very good on top. And as you saw, I think Catrabone looked a little bit surprised that Slay got away so quick.
Brandon Slay, not being a very tall wrestler, actually very stocky, he actually drops from 210 pounds to make 167. I've talked to his coach, Roger Arena, and he said that on the off season, Brandon can get fairly big, and big meaning over 200 pounds. That's a lot of weight to cut coming down to 167, but this guy does it right.
Out of bounds, 1:02 to go here, second period. Slay leads it by 1-0 count.
You can see where Slay wanted to use his low center of gravity and get right on top of the head of Catrabone and make him pay for that shot that he took.
All that up.
Kurt, you talked about the weight loss, and earlier tonight, Bruce, we had a chance to talk about the dilemma facing collegiate wrestling with the cutting of the weight. What about the rule changes that were implemented for this month to add additional weight to each weight class for each wrestler?
Well, the rule changes were essentially to try to eliminate dehydration, the stereotypical cutting of weight in wrestling, and have given each wrestler an additional 7 pounds, and also has taken a weigh-in from as early as the night before to 3 hours or 2 hours before the match. So hopefully it's got the cutting weight problem solved in wrestling.
Well, that's the end of the second period. Let's take a look at that 1-point escape performed by Brandon Slay.
Brandon Slay, very explosive off the bottom, gets his feet out and turns in right away. It took him about 1.5 seconds to score, and that's the way you want to do it.
It almost looks as if Catrabone was questioning that it was a false start.
Well, Catrabone will be in the bottom position here with 2 minutes to go in the match. Slay with that slim 1-0 advantage. Catrabone evens up the score. And surprise, surprise, we have a tie match in the third period.
Nice counterattack by Catrabone, but could not capitalize.
Boy, with those hips by Brandon Slay, it's really hard to be able to suck that single leg in when you have it. And you got to give Catrabone credit on that reshot, but you got to give Brandon Slay a lot more credit for fighting out.
Catrabone lost a 4-2 decision against last year's NCAA champion Mark Branch at the Classic last year. And this is the point in the match where you start thinking about, oh no, I don't want this to happen to me again.
Winding down in the third period, we're still tied up at 1.
Motion in there, Brandon. Motion.
40 seconds.
40 seconds, yeah.
Both wrestlers seem to be waiting for one or the other to shoot so that they can reshot or counter shot and try to score from there. And that seems to be what's happening right now late in the match.
The crowd is starting to become somewhat restless.
Slay deep on that leg.
Catrabone is in trouble here. Only 10 seconds left on the clock.
Slay with the 2 points. That could do it. And Brandon Slay from Pennsylvania, ranked number 4, knocks off the number 3 ranked wrestler Jeff Catrabone of Michigan. Somewhat of an upset, a winner. Slay, let's turn it over to Jeff Latnick to talk to tonight's victor.
Wow.
Start the next one.
And we're back here at University at Buffalo. We're at the 177-pound weight class of the NWCA All-Star Wrestling Meet. And we have number 1 ranked Mitch Clark of Ohio State. He's undefeated, 26-0. He'll take on the number 3rd ranked wrestler in the nation at 177, John Van Doren of Lehigh.
Mitch Clark took second last year in the NCAAs. Somewhat of a dark horse. He had 5 losses going into the tournament. Very scrappy wrestler. A lot of you'll see a lot of action from him. A lot of unorthodox wrestling.
And he gets a 2-point takedown. Go ahead, Kurt.
Sorry about that. John Van Doren having an excellent season. We're talking about a kid that was 12 and 15. 12 and 15 his freshman year, was able to turn it around, get a 30-9 record and a 3rd place finish at the NCAAs last year. He's really turned it on. Looking for a title this year. He's coached by assistant Olympic coach Greg Strobel.
Set, red.
And Van Doren found himself down quickly, 2-0, but he got the reversal. We're all tied at 2.
Mitch Clark is a slightly unorthodox wrestler, a little bit better on the mat, holding the guy down, riding and turning. He's coached by Russ Hellickson, who was an Olympic medalist in 1976.
.219 to go here. They went out of bounds. We'll start them back over in the middle.
2:19 to go. That's it. Keep pressure on it. That's it.
Mitch Clark very tough with the legs. Almost like he's trying to hang out a little bit, letting Van Doren have the leg, and not really showing that he's in much trouble. So he seemed to be pretty relaxed in that position.
2 minutes.
Bump his arms forward before you stick your leg in. When his arms get forward, that's it. Keep it on him. That's it.
Van Doren doing an excellent job keeping the legs out, where Mitch Clark is very strong on top with the
You got
legs.
to move underneath. That's it. Now straighten it out. Straighten him out. Get it out. There you go.
1:40 to go here, still in the first period. We're still tied at 2.
Don't let it crawl up.
I have a distinct feeling that Mitch Clark's going to be able to ride up really work up some riding time in the next few periods. So I think Van Doren's going to really have to score on his feet or do something spectacular to stay away from Mitch Clark's strength on top.
Always bump it before you put your leg in.
The longer that Mitch Clark stays on the top will wear Van Doren physically and mentally if it goes on much longer. A minute riding time in the first period. The match is really, it's a minute and a half into it. There's already a minute riding time for Mitch Clark.
Drive forward. Don't sit there. Drive forward. Don't sit there. Drive forward. Move it. There you go. Move it!
And they go out of bounds. We're still tied at 2. 1:11 to go here, first period.
Both wrestlers very comfortable on wrestling close to the edge and using that for their advantage when their opponent gets an advantage on top, using the edge to escape.
Dead top on him. He's got to move, man.
About a minute, guys.
Underneath. Got to move. Keep that pressure
55
on.
seconds.
Straighten it out now. Straighten it out. Don't make.
Clark throwing in that leg.
This could be a very long match for John Van Doren. Of course, there's going to be a moment if Van Doren chooses bottom, which I doubt he will in the next couple periods. You could see Mitch Clark really accumulate a lot of riding time. So don't expect Van Doren to pick any bottom position the next 2 periods.
Mitch Clark is very punishing on top.
Straighten it out. Flatten it out, Mitch.
Go guys, you're riding.
He just got warned for stalling, just riding on top.
That's a case where Van Doren almost wish he hadn't called him. This is a very punishing position, arching the back right there with the leg and trying to take the head over for the near fall.
Van Doren looked up like, why did you go and do that? Because Clark immediately applied the pressure. So we're done with the scoring at the end of the first period. We're tied at 2, but Mitch Clark with a dominant riding time situation. He's got 2 minutes and 25 seconds. Let's take a look at the reversal.
Van Doren with a nice picture-perfect takedown, and actually Mitch Clark coming underneath, not able to score. Van Doren getting the takedown, and here we're going to possibly see the reversal.
Yeah, that was actually the takedown right to start the match. And right here.
And here's the reversal. Mitch Clark being able to grab the ankle, get height, come up on top, turn, and finish the takedown, or actually the reversal to score 2 points and ride him out the rest of the period.
Red choice. Red defers.
A lot of body
green
control in that reversal.
Green chooses neutral.
As Kurt predicted, Van Doren picked neutral,
Red, you've been
not the bottom position.
Van Doren knows this is his only chance to start scoring on his feet and beware of being on bottom. So if Mitch Clark does get a takedown, Van Doren knows he's in trouble. This is where he has to really be intense.
Keep the pressure on him, man. Don't play his game. Keep your hands
Mitch
down.
Clark, again, somewhat unorthodox, even on his feet. If you notice his weight's on his heels. Most wrestlers try to keep the weight on their toes.
You gotta penetrate, Mitch. Like that, like that.
Nice single leg, changed to a double by Van Doren, and he gets 2 points for the takedown. This is very, very important for Van Doren to stay on top and not get reversed this time. And he lets him go. What do you say? I do it too.
Well, Van Doren with the 4-3 lead, though. Mitch Clark has over 2 minutes in riding time right now.
John Van Doren was very smart in letting him go in the first period. Mitch Clark reversed, got on top, and got 2 minutes and 30 seconds for hiding time. And I'm sure John Van Doren didn't want to be down again.
Nice ankle pick. He's going to bring the leg up. Beautiful finish by Van Doren. Looking for a score. Mitch Clark doing an excellent job of throwing in the whizzer and fighting out the takedown. The fans give him a little cheer. as you said before, Bruce, Mitch Clark not being really slick on his feet, seems to be sitting back on his heels and doesn't have a lot of movement. So I'm sure that this is his weakness. He seems to be a really good mat wrestler on top and on bottom, obviously getting the reversal and riding him out.
Mitch Clark is a New Yorker from Canton, New York, Canton High School.
He pulled a Houdini getting out of that takedown, coming off the bottom. 11 seconds to go here, second period.
Like I said, Mitch Clark is very unorthodox, and as Kurt said, very good on the top and the bottom.
Okay, so now we head into the third period. Let's take a look at the almost takedown by John Van Doren.
Here it is. John's on a single leg, kicks through, and Mitch Clark just scrambles around, keeps turning, and eventually comes out even with the whizzer.
You know, in those
Excellent
kind of
fight.
situations, you have to really, when you finish, you have to finish hard. And Van Doren relaxed. Mitch Clark was able to do something from there. And Mitch is a scrambler on bottom. So once he hits the floor, he's coming up or he's spinning around, and that's what he did. There it is again. That's his move.
Both athletes look a little tired here. A little bit worn in the face, not really getting right back to the center. Van Doren seems to be dragging a little bit.
Well, we're tied at 4, but as I said, Mitch Clark with that over 2 minutes in riding time right now, which would be worth 1 point to him. So it's incumbent upon Van Doren to come up with a takedown. Van Doren has looked the better of the two on his feet.
Van Doren definitely being dominant on his feet tonight. Mitch Clark, not a lot of quickness. I don't think Mitch really relies on his expertise on his feet. He's definitely a mat wrestler, and he's proving that tonight. But Van Doren, he needs another takedown here if he wants to win this match. He's not going to get anything other than a takedown to score the win.
Clark seems to be generating the action here in the third period. Van Doren looks to be somewhat tiring.
Van Doren doing a great job of getting height, fighting off the takedown. Beautiful job for John Van Doren. Coming out of bounds. No points. He still has a shot without giving up the bottom position again.
49 seconds to go here. It's tied at 4. Van Doren needs to score because he's down in riding time right now as we have an injury time.
This is second injury time?
Excellent fight on Van Doren.
Here Mitch Clark getting an underhook, shooting in on the single leg. Van Doren almost reaching around, grabbing the ankle, trying to get a reversal. Mitch Clark coming up, also trying to getting height on his opponent, but Van Doren being able to fight him off, holding the ankle, and they both end up going out of bounds here. And no points were awarded.
Very close to a takedown. I think had that been in bounds, Clark probably would have come up on top.
Nice high crotch by Clark. He's a little bit low, out of position. Van Doren trying to score. Clark doing an excellent job of turning in, and Van Doren having great defense comes out of it.
Good position now. Good position, Mitch. That's it. Get behind it.
Oh, nice shot by Van Doren to try to get something going. Another reshot, head up in the middle. He's got him in trouble here. If he can finish, he could win.
Excellent action.
Van Doren
here.
trying to hook the leg of Mitch Clark, and he might get it here.
Very close to being a takedown here. 15 seconds.
5 seconds. No call yet.
Very difficult to give the point here with Van Doren and Mitch Clark both parallel.
So Mitch Clark will win it off that 2 minutes and 7 seconds riding time that he accumulated in the first period. Mitch Clark from Ohio State maintains his undefeated record and his #1 ranking. You're saying this is Robison?
Robison.
Robison. You ready, Dave? We're back here at the University at Buffalo, 190-pound weight class. Number 1 ranked Jason Robison of Edinboro, taking on number 4 ranked Ryan Tobin of Nebraska.
Jason Robison, outstanding wrestler, has helped me over the years train for my Olympic and world competition. Very aggressive, very strong athlete. Ranked number 1 last year, was injured in the semis and finished 6th. Beat Tobin their last time out 2 years ago at the, or 3 years ago, pardon me, at the NCAA title. Robison wound up with 7th, and Tobin was 8th.
Ryan Tobin coming from Nebraska, having an excellent year last year, redshirting, but he did travel around with the Olympic team and did a lot of training that year. The year before, he took 3rd at the NCAA tournament. 21-2 this year, wrestling heavyweight half the year and dropping down to 190. You can look for this guy possibly beating in the NCAA finals. You might be seeing the NCAA final match right now.
Stalemate. All right.
Well, we got a stalemate to start him over. 2:20 to go here, first period, 190-pound weight class.
I've trained with both of these guys, and they're both very good on their feet, aggressive, hard workers, very good work ethic. Watching these two guys go year in, year out, coming to the Olympic training camps, training twice a day in the summertime, you know, you can't ask for more from an athlete.
2-point takedown.
Robison gets a nice single leg takedown. Tobin tried to dive through the legs, and Robison basically just moved the leg, which made Tobin kind of just fall to his side.
1:39 to go here.
Face me, face me.
Jason Robison, Edinboro, number 1 ranked in the nation.
Both wrestlers are 5th-year seniors. The last time, this is their last shot. Jason Robison being ranked 1st, and of course Ryan Tobin 4th ranked. These two guys want it more than anybody else in this weight class. We'll see what can happen this year.
Robison beat the defending national champion at Midlands by a point, who was Lee Fullhart. Good intensity with both wrestlers. Jason Robison trying to hold him down, and obviously Tobin trying to get the escape.
1:09 to go here, first period. Robison with a 2-0 advantage over Tobin.
Riding time could turn out to be a factor in this match, and Jason Robison working hard to get him to his side to be able to get that turn.
1-point escape.
Nice little spin-in by Ryan Tobin to score. He comes up to his feet and they go out of bounds. Makes the score 2-1.
And Bruce, you said Jason has worked out with you?
Yes, numerous times. Nice takedown for Jason Robison. Yeah, I've coached him the last 4 years. I've taken the acting athletic director's job and haven't really done much coaching this year, but I used to work out with him almost daily for the last 4 years.
Nope. Question red, bottom man, question.
Not only an excellent wrestler, he's an elementary education major, very good student, a very hard worker.
Jason, I'm sure you can agree with me, Bruce. He seems to be a very well-rounded wrestler. Very strong on top, strong on bottom. Also, as you've seen, strong on his feet. And it's amazing. This kid has 36 pins throughout his career, so he proves that he is a pinner, not only just a wrestler, but a pinner too.
I think that's what wins at the NCAA tournament, is the well-rounded wrestlers. I think, although Mitch Clark was in the finals, you could see on the feet he is vulnerable. Where the wrestlers that are good in all 3 positions seem to be a little bit more successful, I believe.
Well, we're coming to the close of the first period. And it's Jason Robison of Edinboro with a 4-1 advantage over Ryan Tobin of Nebraska.
Robison 4, Tobin 1.
Here, Jason Robison goes in on an outside single leg. It seems to be one of his better moves. Comes up right away. Tobin trying to come underneath, and Robison just squashing down on him, getting the score.
Robison.
Now, you've been quick to point out, Bruce, his name is Robison, not Robison, which I think we've both
Hey, wait a minute.
gone back and
wait
forth.
a minute. I've known him longer than Bruce has, okay? He's from my area. I can call whatever I want to.
Guys, if you want to have a wrestle-off for it, that's fine with me.
No, thanks.
Jason is a Pittsburgh native, actually Allison Park native, and as Kurt did mention, and you know, Kurt is also from Pittsburgh. He's having a little bit of a trouble getting away here.
Tobin looks to be very experienced with the legs, keeping good pressure on Robison and not letting him able to move on the bottom.
Tobin just warned for stalling on top.
Well, a guy like Jason Robison, you're not going to be able to break him down flat on the mat, so you have to do something in that position, and basically they're not doing anything right now. He's not able to break him down.
Tobin has the leg in and hooking that back ankle. Really not creating a whole lot of action, basically riding out the period here.
Tobin put a lot of pressure on, but Robison sitting tight underneath with 45 seconds to go here in the period.
Again, this is very difficult for the bottom wrestler. It's
What's the matter?
a lot of
Injury time.
pain, and it's a difficult, you know, wears a man down that bottom position.
They've already called Tobin for stalling, but it appeared the officials started to drop a little bit lower and possibly calling
pretty hard there.
Robison for stalling, but having the injury timeout, I think Robison's going to have a second chance to try to escape in this second period.
Okay, here we go.
36 seconds to go here, second period. Jason Robison of Edinboro leading Ryan Tobin, Nebraska by a 4-1 count.
Tobin doing an excellent job on top, erasing the riding time. Actually,
No, bottom man. Squashing green.
Caution, Robison.
Change over, Jay.
18 seconds, injury time needed.
Tobin throwing that leg in again, keeping the pressure on Robison, trying to get some riding time, possibly trying to break Robison down and try and turn him.
Got a warning, bottom man. Green.
And now we got a warning on Robison. Both men have been warned.
Both men have warned. That may be a factor in the final period.
And we'll now head into the final period of the 190-pound match.
Now. Both men
Score remains Jason Robison 4,
Red chooses
Ryan
down.
Tobin 1.
Robison 4.
And now Robison will have a chance to ride on top.
Tobin not being a very explosive wrestler, pretty much looking to turn into his opponent rather than coming up. And he doesn't do a bad job at it, but sometimes you want to come up and explode and get out as soon as possible, and he spends a little bit too much time on the mat.
Hips underneath. These are hips underneath. Stand up. Come on. Come on. High five, stand up.
Jason Robison working to break him down to the near side. Looks like
a nice little Granby roll attempt by Tobin. Not able to come out on top. He's getting the ankle of Robison, I should say. And apparently they're in a stalemate.
Well, we've got 1:15 remaining here in the match. Tobin will have to score off the bottom to get back in this one. Talked to a gentleman last night at the banquet, said he was impressed with how many fine students are on this roster of All-Stars when they had a chance to get up and talk about their majors, what they want to do. And you often find many of these fine athletes also are great students as well.
Well, I think that successful people are probably, if you're this successful in your wrestling, you might have a the success also in the classroom, that work ethic, that determination and drive.
And a stalling call against Robison makes the score 4-2. If Tobin can get out here, he's only down by 1 point. So big factor in a match, like Bruce said. When you have stall warnings, you got to be very careful. And Robison, hanging out on top, got dinged.
Let's go, guys. Come on.
Just 27 seconds to go.
Uh-oh. Robison has the cradle locked up. It's not in a very good position to score, but nevertheless, he is working for that near fall.
Let's use it. Come on.
Advantage time now for Robison.
And he can just sit there with that as we count out the final seconds. It's going to be Jason Robison of Edinboro. Maintains his #1 ranking, his undefeated record, knocking off Ryan Tobin of Nebraska.
Jason Robison.
Excellent hard-fought match by both competitors.
3,253. The NWCA, American Airlines, and the University of Buffalo, thank you for supporting.
And for more, let's throw it now to Jeff Blatnick.
Get any beer here? No.
Good job, Jason.
Ready?
Where?
Yep. And we're back for the final match of the night here, the heavyweight division of the NWCA All-Star Wrestling League. #1 ranked Stephen Neal of Bakersfield going against #2 ranked Aaron Richardson of Michigan. This could be a good one, guys.
I think this is going to be a great match. Both these athletes are great competitors. Stephen Neal won the last match 5-3. It's interesting to note both of these people work my heavyweight wrestling camp, and they're both outstanding individuals. Just two great student athletes. Nice people, hard workers.
You talked about great athletes at 150 pounds. Well, these guys are tremendous athletes, and they're at heavyweight. Both guys can move really well. Aaron Richardson taking 5th place in 1995-96 season. Wasn't able to place last year, but this year having a tremendous season, even beating Ryan Tobin, who was up at heavyweight that just wrestled this previous match, beating him by 5 points in a match. That's an impressive win, and this guy's looking for a title this year.
Interesting story. Stephen Neal did not win, or I think even place at the state championships in California as a senior. And last year there he was in the NCAA finals as a sophomore in college. Unbelievable story. He should be a 4-time All-American unless something does happen.
That is unbelievable. If he didn't place at the state tournament his senior year, the next year he takes 4th place at the Division I NCAA tournament. You talk about a turnaround, but this kid is a great athlete.
Well, Bruce, you talked about at your clinic today, you don't have to be the first guy to start the sport, but dedication is important and to stick to it. Oh! No points. And Aaron Richardson, I'm sure, was not happy he was at the bottom of that.
Boy, did he hit hard. Those guys, we're talking about probably close to 560 pounds going straight on the mat. Richardson getting the worst of it, ending up on bottom.
1:32 to go here in the first period. Still no score.
Hold it up, guys.
Stephen Neal, ranked #1, undefeated from Bakersfield. Aaron Richardson, ranked #2, just 1 loss on the record.
Pick it up.
Neal's major move is that double leg that he was trying when he almost got thrown. Driving in, lowering his level, trying to attack the man's thighs with a double leg and driving into him. And, doesn't seem to really be doing it very hard or well right now.
Both wrestlers appear to be in excellent condition. These heavyweights are put together pretty well. And the last time they met was the Vegas tournament, where Stephen Neal did win the tournament by, I think, a 3-2 score. So he definitely has an advantage tonight, being the #1 ranked and having a win over Richardson.
40 seconds to go in the period. And 2-point takedown. Stephen Neal right at the edge of the mat.
Right at the edge, just drove into him. Excellent position. Aaron just could not move back quick enough to avoid getting run over and taken down.
Well, Bruce, you said these young men work at your camp. Do they mix it up at camp? Do they practice with each other? I mean, how well do they know each other?
They know each other pretty well, and I said they're, you know, Kurt Angle and Jeff Blatnick also work my heavyweight camp, and Aaron actually was the only person
27,
all summer
27.
long to take me down at my camp. He got one takedown, so they're both pretty fair wrestlers. Now, I'll admit I didn't wrestle Neal. He was in a little bit better shape than me this summer, so I just gave him the instructions to, you know, counsel the campers and so forth.
Boy, that is a great camp to go to. If you're a heavyweight, go up there. You're introduced to some of the best wrestlers in the world in the heavyweight division. It's fun to go up there and see all these heavyweights. I mean, you must have at least, what, 250 heavyweights up there. And you talk about a lot of beef. There's a lot of weight up there.
It's comical. There's nobody under 200 pounds there.
2-0 score at the end of the first period. If you just caught us, we're in the middle of an infomercial for Bruce Baumgartner's heavyweight camp. Let's take a look at that takedown again, guys.
There's a takedown. Richardson lowers level, and Neal just gets behind that thigh and drives right into him. Richardson just could not back up quick enough.
Go away, you're still down green.
Back to action, and a flurry by the edge of the mat, but no scoring. And well, Stephen Neal will be back to the down position.
If you're really going to make it an infomercial, Jason Robison also works the camp too, so a lot of people here tonight.
Where is this camp, Bruce?
Edinboro, University, Pennsylvania.
Nice Grammy roll by Stephen Neal to get out and get the escape and go ahead 3-0.
That move right there that Neal just hit to get away, I've never even attempted one of those in my life. That's some athleticism for a big guy right there.
You definitely don't want to get caught halfway through that one.
No, you can get hurt on that.
Not at heavyweight anyway.
1:15 to go here, second period. Neal leads it 3-0 over Aaron Richardson.
Let's go, guys.
You know, during the clinic, a lot of people ask me why I stayed in so long and why I continue to wrestle and how I got to be so good. And it's just the love of the sport, and I think both of these individuals, you know, really love the sport of wrestling, and they really enjoy it. I mean, and you can see it in their wrestling.
Work, guys. Warning red!
Oh, Stephen Neal goes right into the scores table.
Red, you were warned there. Okay, let's go.
Now, Bruce, if they come this way, you know who's got to stand up and stop them.
I'll let Kurt stop them for us.
30 seconds.
Uh-oh. You know, it's still close enough match here, even though it's 3-0. They really have to watch making mistakes, and it looks like Neal is somewhat tired, making some mistakes along the way.
And the fans now getting into it, stomping their feet, creating a little bit of noise here with 20 seconds to go in the second period. This is the final match of the night. And we're coming at the final seconds here of the second period. It's going to be Stephen Neal still leading Aaron Richardson by 3-0 count. Well, Richardson's in a down position, so he needs to score points, and that's not a bad place to start.
Here, Neal on the bottom, trying to work his way up, comes into a semi-tripod position, comes up to his feet, goes right into the Granby roll, comes around front, and he gets the point.
Back to action, and Aaron Richardson came to the standing position, could not score as he went out of bounds. 1:53 to go here in the match.
Richardson has been called for stalling.
Well, I'll tell you what, these heavyweights woke the crowd up, didn't they?
They definitely have the crowd going. I'll tell you what, it takes a lot out of you when a guy picks you up and throws you to the mat. It really takes a little wind out of you.
And an escape by Richardson. Minute and a half to go.
Don't count him out now. He's only down by 2 points. He has a minute 20 to work something, and I think Stephen Neal knows it's not a definite win for him. So
Stephen Neal does not look as sharp right now as he did in the first period.
One minute.
Second.
Start him back in the center of the mat. 51 seconds to go. Richardson in need of a takedown.
Richardson's going to have to start creating some action. He's the one with the stalling. Neal could actually take 2 stalling warnings and still win the match. Richardson's going to need that 2 points, 3 to win it, 2 to tie and 3 to win.
it's really hard for Richardson to try to score here. He's not much of a leg attacker. He likes to create a lot of movement and hit high single legs, and they're not there for him. Neal knows it's coming. Richardson won't drop to his knees. He likes to stay off his knees. So, it's not that easy for him to score takedowns in this predicament.
Well, they just warned Neal for stalling, but with just 15 seconds to go.
Let's see if Neal takes the other warning.
Great defense by Richardson, being able to get out of bounds, forcing Neal to come out of bounds. No points were awarded. Neal's feet went out, and they're both back to the center with 8 seconds remaining.
Great effort on both athletes' part there.
That's going to do it. Stephen Neal maintains his #1 ranking and undefeated record with that 3-1 victory over Aaron Richardson. Let's turn to Jeff Latnick now as he talks to the victor. Hey, Dave, why don't we wrap it up right here? Yeah, we'll sit right here and wrap it up on camera. It'll be a real quick wrap, all right?
Let's see who won. Won.